You need to unmute, Jonathan. You need to unmute. Okay, right. Well, my co-host will be with us in a minute. But I'd just like to welcome everybody again to our program. God is good. I'm pleased to be here this afternoon, and we're going to have a wonderful program. One of my favorite presenters, and I'm not ashamed to say that she's one of my favorite presenters, will be doing it this afternoon. So I'm pleased and I'm happy that she's here, and we'll be hear from her soon. I'm going to introduce my co-host, which is...
My name is Jonathan. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us for another exciting and informative presentation this evening.
Thank you. How are you doing, Jonathan?
I'm fine, Edgar. Thank you. How about you?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Good.
I'm going to ask you a question. Well, I know today we're doing remedies from heaven, and the individual that we are going to focus on, she deals with nutrition. Yeah. So, what is your favorite food, Jonathan? What would you like to tell us? What is your favorite food?
I'm not sure if you've got enough time, Edgar, for me to answer that question.
I've got time. But
what I can say to you currently, I am enjoying my pumpkin bread that I've been making. So that's one of the favorites at the moment. But obviously, I can go into other things such as mango and you name it. I don't think we have enough time. There's a lot of nice food out there. We just have to have them in moderation.
Okay, okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Would you, at this time, like to do the disclaimer for us?
Yes, I'm happy to do so as I wait it on. So our disclaimer is only a professional health practitioner can diagnose or treat medical condition. Any information discussed on the True Temperance International Family Health shows is for educational and informational purposes only. Please continue to seek professional medical advice from your GP or health practitioner regarding any disease or illness you may be suffering from.
Thank you very much for that. So, I'm revealing who is our presenter today. Her name is Sonya Barnes, and we are Nutritional Nights, is that? Oh, Nourishing Your Night. Okay, that is going to be our presenter today. And if you look on the side, you can see some lovely food. And if you notice, it's plant-based. You're not going to see, I mean, some people say they love chicken and, Kentucky and things like that, fish, fried fish and whatever, but you're not going to see that today. We're not promoting that today. We are going to promote nutrition that heaven would approve. Would you agree with that, Jonathan?
Most definitely.
Okay, so I'm going to go on to look at some of the slides that we're going to promote, and I'm going to do that now. So obviously today, Sonya's going to do today, we're going to promote the health conference that we are going to be running in August. The date is the 28th of August to the 3rd of September. And last year, we had a wonderful time. And we were blessed with many visitors. And I don't know, I don't know if you'd say that the program runs seamlessly with no problems and no issue. What do you think, Jonathan? Would you say that?
So what I would say about the program, I wouldn't say it ran seamlessly. However, if there was a problem, it all seems that it worked for good. So if you are looking at it from that perspective, I will say yes, it was seamless.
Well, I know that I was blessed, and I believe others that came was blessed. If you look at the poster, we have speakers that that were on it last year, that's going to be on it this year. We've got a new speaker, which is Mammon Wilson. Personally, I went to London to see him, and I was blessed by the way he conducted himself and the information that he was sharing and the way he shared it. So even just from that perspective, is worth coming to the conference. But I think the conference is bigger than the speakers. The conference is about fellowship and us coming together and having a focus, and that God can bless us. And that's how I would look at the conference. Now, some of the things that will be at the conference, there will be natural home remedies. There'll be a men's health aspect to the conference. We're going to look at cancer. With the catering will be plant-based. Amen. And the we will have we aim to have cooking demonstrations going on with Alvin McQueen and his lovely wife. We're going to have mini missionaries as well. So you can see there's quite a lot of things that I've said already, and that's just part of the conference. Do you know what I mean? There's other things that will be going on as well. The scenery where we are. I mean, Jonathan, you can testify to that. That the scenery was lovely scenery. We had somebody doing exercise with us in the morning. So it was good. If I say it was good, that's an understatement. I would say it was very good. What do you say, Jonathan?
Yes, and it was really good. But oftentimes I don't like to blow our own trumpets. I always ask somebody who is on the platform to attest to what happened last year. And if someone is on here, maybe for the first time, someone who was there last year and they want to recommend it to someone who is new, they're more than welcome to unmute and to share their experience, just to encourage someone if they are thinking about it.
All right. Yeah. So we'll give the audience a moment. If there's somebody who wants to just step up to the plate, as it were, and give a testimony about being at Kefenli that was there, we're just going to give you a moment to do that. And if not, that's fine. We'll carry on. While somebody's thinking about it, if you look at the screen, you can see the workshops, because we were running workshops throughout the day. We had our own, and we had treatment rooms as well. We had a shop that was running, presenting health products and things that people would like. So there was lots and lots of things going on during the day. So I don't know if anybody would like to give a testimony or an experience of being there that is on the program at this time. So I'm just going to pause for a moment to see if anybody would like to do that, and then if not, we'll carry on. I'm assuming they can unmute.
As you are pausing there, Edgar, I'd just like to encourage also for all those people that send their money in to book their spot for this year. We just want to encourage you guys to please fill the application form out, because there are many people who is depositing money, Edgar, but not filling out the booking form.
Yeah.
And
the booking,
that kind of we don't want to disappoint anyone.
Yeah, sure. We have to have the booking forms for insurance and safety purposes. the form has to be filled in. So I'm just agreeing with you, Jonathan. If you've not filled out your form, you have to fill it out.
Because people are sending in their deposit, but not filling out the application. But not only that, Edgar, some people are going to be disappointed because some people will have different preference as to what accommodation they want, but they're not, without the booking form, that is not clear to us.
Yes, yes.
You know, and we are going on a first come, first serve basis, right?
Yes, sure. Right, so nobody's stepped to the plate, so I'm going to carry on. So I'm just going to show you a few photos of the conference. Many people were there. People met people for the first time. And also, it was very interesting because of the pandemic, people were meeting people that they've spoken to on Zoom for good periods, but they've never actually had a face-to-face. So that was wonderful. Being there, people, I've seen you on Zoom, but this is the first time I'm actually seeing you face to face.
Hi everyone. This isn't quite a testimony about what happened at Keck and Lee, but it's something that I experienced today. So on that screen, you can see one of meeting new friends. We have a sister there who met Barbara O'Neill, who was a guest on our last conference. And I was speaking to this lady because she wasn't, she's familiar with TTI. And she said, oh, yes, my child was experiencing something. And I saw this thing, I saw on your show when Barbara O'Neill came on, and she was telling me about how to deal with earache problems. And my child was having problems and he was complaining. He doesn't normally complain, but he kept pulling his ear. He must have been about 2 at the time. And he kept pulling his ear and crying. And normally she says he doesn't cry. And I was thinking, oh, I saw that program with Barbara O'Neill. So she went back and looked at it and she saw, okay, the onion. So she did the onion, she cut it, warmed it up and allowed the juices to come out and held it over his ears. And she said straight away, there was a difference straight away. And he was able to stop crying and he went to sleep and he had a good night's sleep. So I said to my friend, that is a fantastic testimony. You need to testify. But because she's not on here now, I'm doing it on her behalf. So there you go. There's some of the medical missionary treatments that have been tried and tested and will continue to be of use because unfortunately, sickness is still with us.
All right. Thank you for that, Sharon. We're going to carry on. So here's a photo of, I think it's the Hackney crew from London. And I believe that they are actually already booked or in the process of booking. Is that right?
Yes.
So people are booking for this program. So don't delay. Don't say, you know what, I'm going to wait to see
who is coming.
Because you might just
be disappointed.
Yeah, you might be disappointed. And they were there last year, and even on some of the testimonies that we've put out, they were actually on the testimony saying, yes, you know what, we were blessed by the program.
Well, put it this way, Edgar. I had one of the guests that was there last year rang me, I think last week, and said to me, listen, right, I'm going on holiday overseas and I'm coming back just for the conference. This is my annual holiday. This is it for me now.
Excellent. So the next slide I've got here, you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, we got Patrick. He was doing the exercise, and that was something that we did every day, just to kind of, to kind of start the day. And a lot of people appreciated that, and they were saying it's wonderful to be outside in fresh air and so on, doing exercises. So that's something that we will continue to do for this one that's coming. Here we go. This is a lovely picture of our food demonstrators, Alvin and Louise, and my good lady wife is in the middle, and you can see some wonderful food that was prepared. I think it looks good. This was just one aspect of the conference and a workshop that you could see, experience, and take part in. And here are some of the speakers. We've got Comrade Vine and Andre and Pastor Sam. Some of those will be there for this one coming, and we've got new ones coming in as well. I don't know if you can see his face, but you've got David Bartholomew, who was doing the physio, and I believe that went down very, very well. So, you know, there's loads and loads of different things that was happening. I don't believe people were bored by the conference, because there was so many things going on, but yet there was time for a relaxation. Not from the organizers, because we was busy, but the conference was good. We had plant-based catering. I'm going to move quickly now because I want to get to the main presenter for today. We've got Comrade Vine there with his parents. They was blessed by the program, and there was a wonderful fellowship going on with lots of people. There's some people there going up for the climb, for the walk, and I think that's about it. We've got Jackie Brown in the background. Accommodate. You got my son in the accommodation. I thought the accommodation was nice, and that's just the standard. That's not the deluxe accommodation, but I believe that more people are booking for the accommodation. I'm sure Jonathan would agree with me. We've got to have some lovely ladies here on the mountain, including the speaker for today. You'll have to decipher which one she is, but you'll see her soon. This is a picture now of different people. You got my co-host Jonathan, his good lady wife Shirlene and Kathleen, and just things going on. But I'm saying the program was well worth coming to then, and it is now. And I'm going to stop sharing. Just to recommend the TTI website. It's up and running. There's cooking recipes on there. You've got the 8 health laws. You can drop us a line. There's links to the videos and so on, YouTube, Instagram, the booking form for Kathleen Lee. So get to the website, have a look. You can give us a comment, you know, do you like it? And I'm going to stop sharing. I don't know if you've got anything that you want to say, Jonathan.
Not at this time, Edgar. I'm happy for us to move to the speaker for
okay
today.
So Sonya, are you there, Sonya? Can we see your pretty face? How are you doing, Sonya?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you very much for blessing us today. Even before you even speak, we're waiting to hear what you've got to say. I have a question for you before you start. What is your favorite food and why?
My favorite food. Wow.
I'll put you on the spot now, answer.
Yes, because, you know, when I'm looking at food, I'm thinking, what good is this food going to do to my body? Is it going to nourish my cells? Is it going to give me strength? Or is it going to pull nutrients away from me? Now, if you were to ask me that question, maybe, let's say, 10 years ago, I would have said sugar. I would have said cakes. I don't do that anymore. I like cakes, but I make them in a more healthier way.
Okay,
so that's my favorite food. I like lentils. I know it sounds boring, but I can do a lot with lentils. And lentils provide me with a lot of nutrients, not just protein, but I've got fiber from that, I've got magnesium from that, I've got quite a few different minerals from lentils, as boring as it may be. Chickpea, yes, I love chickpeas as well, because of the versatility of it. What it can make bread, it can make you make scrambled eggs, you make so much, because I'm on a healthy eating and want to encourage, you know, people around me to do the same. So that was my favorite food. But years ago, I would say cakes, sugar, give me chocolate, give me a box of celebrations, and I'll sit and go through for the entire evening. But those days are behind.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Well, you know, I've heard it said before that great minds think alike. And I love cooking, and I love cooking lentils. I just think lentils are so versatile. And if you do not have a lot of money and you want something to swell, my goodness me. I have cooked somewhere before, and all I did was get 6K of lentils. And that served over 100 people. That, you know, you can't do that with some food.
No way, no. Some food is just a one-pot meal and that's it. Give you once, and maybe if you have leftovers, but lentils go a long, long
my goodness, talk about stretching.
Long
my goodness me. And and what you can do to lentils for that taste. It's the same with, you know something, I believe the Lord believes in simple food. What you can do with chickpeas, what you can do with lentils, you can't do that with some foods. It's impossible. You can't do it with some flesh. No. You can only do that with plant-based food. And the thing about it is, it's not expensive. It's not expensive. But there's such a blessing that you can get from it. So anyway, thank you. Thank you for that insight. And I agree with you. And are you planning to go Catherine Lee?
I am, yes. It's in the plan, yes. It's part of the plan.
No. You must, no. You must be there. I've got a work for you to do there. I'm coming back to you soon. You have a work to do. Don't tell me you're not coming.
Well, I have to say, when I saw the slides again just now, it just reminded me of my time there, you know, and I'm just saying for anyone else on this platform now, you just seen the slideshow just now, please put aside and ensure that you attend. It's a time like no other. It was TTIs and health performance, procedural health performance first, one last year. This is the second, and may to God that it continue year after year, being an annual thing, because when you go, you know, the world we're living in now, I don't have to remind you what's going on. It's around us. And you need a time away from it all to rest, to recuperate, to digest, to rejuvenate, in order to go back home and to continue. And just that week alone, we need a week, okay, away. And I'm encouraging those, please, TTI did not ask me to do this, but I'm actually saying, because I saw the benefits in myself was onto health and, you know, projects and stuff like that, and work with others in encouraging them to look after their bodies. You've got to go there. You have to go there. The pictures alone is not
do justice.
That's
to
right.
what happened there last year.
That's right.
So,
and just as you say,
aches and pains and illnesses, make sure you head on.
Just as you say, you have to go there. I expect you to be there. Your word is your body.
Like God's grace, I'll be there.
Also, Edgar, and I just feel impressed to say this as well, that for some people, they are asking for, they wanted single rooms and stuff like that, like a 5-star hotel. I'd just like to say, if you have a need, come to Kathleen Lee, because it will be met. And also remember Naaman, there was better rivers, you know, but the one that he needed to dip in was Jordan. So don't worry about the accommodation. If you have a need, come to Kathleen Lee, will be met.
Great.
Thank you. I think we're gonna have a wonderful time. Now, it's time for the speaker to do her thing. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, Sonia, thank you very much in anticipation for what you're going to do. And the floor is yours, and thank you.
Great. Could you please make me co-host again, please?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Can you do that, Shirley? Jonathan? You're co-host now.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Thank Jonathan and also Edgar for the warm welcome. I want to thank TTI again for the invitation for me to join them on this day, 18th of March. Can you see my slides? Okay. Yeah.
Yes, we can, Sonia.
Great, great. So thank you all and welcome those who's joined us. For those who have seen me before, those who think it's your first time on this program, I just wanted to say I'm Sonya and I'm a naturopathic nutritional therapist, someone who just loves to talk about health and well-being and food and what food does to the body. I like working with throughout the presentation, there are 2 areas of the laws of health. All 8 are very important. There's 2 that I like talking about. I have personal experience with them, and work with clients with them as well too. And of course, when you break one law of health, you break all the other 7. So I'm staying within the perimeter of the theme, which is remedies from heaven. So I've got the brief, and I'm staying within the brief, and we're looking at nurture and nourish your sleep. Now, sleep, rest is a law of health. Nourishment in terms of nutrition, good food is also a law of health. For those who are not aware, yesterday was World Sleep Day. And the theme was sleep is essential for health. The world, there's a public concern because we are not sleeping. The world, let's say the world in general, is not sleeping well, not having good sleep. So in this presentation, I know we relaxed at home or where we are, and I like interaction. For those who've been on presentations I've presented before, I like some interactions. So I'm going to request that you put things in the chat when I request to do so. And let's just explore this topic, which you more or less heard before. Because TTI have had sleep presentations before. I remember Sister Joan, who did sleep some time ago. But it's such a part where we all have a part to play in sleep. But so many of us are just not sleeping well. And sometimes when you hear things more than once, it triggers repetition. So you may think, okay, it deepens impression. It could be that, you just need to hear it one more time for you to intentionally start making plans or how to build and boost the quality of your sleep. So let's move on to my next slide. So if I shall ask the question today, this week, you may not think as far back as Monday, but maybe Thursday, on average, how much sleep did you receive? How many hours of sleep did you receive? And you think, well, not so sure, but how was the quality of your sleep? Because we all sleep. What's the quality? We have, in general terms, we say, okay, you need to sleep. Some literature says 8 to 9 hours. Some will say 6 to 7 hours. So sleep is according to your need. So what was your quality of sleep? And how would you rate your sleep this week? All right. If you're not able to rate as much as far back as Sunday, how about last night when you woke up this morning? How would you rate your sleep? Are you waking up 5 times for the night? So that's on a scale of 1 to 10. So 1, the worst it can be, you're getting up frequently every night. And you lie in bed and not able to go back to sleep. And 10, is that you're getting good sleep where you're going to bed and you're sleeping for 7 hours. You may get up once a night because it could be that, you know, what happened in that day, you actually mean that you drank maybe too much water too late into bedtime, and so it cut you up. But in general, though, you're sleeping very well, which is called you're sleeping great. So in between 1 to 10, if you could put it in the chat, from 1 to 10, where are you? Are you a 5, where you wake up maybe only twice a night, maybe once a night, but you're getting maybe getting 6 hours or 5 hours solid sleep where you're not waking up? There's no interruptions at all. Are you an 8? Not quite a 10? Where are you? It's nice when we can go to sleep, you know, we've heard before, make sure you're in bed by 9:30. So then you drift off to sleep by 10. And so, you know, because the hours before 12, they double. And then hours after 12 midnight, those are singles. So if you get into bed before 10 o'clock, already that's 4 hours. And then of course, when you wake up again, it's 4:30 in the morning, you're thinking, right, I'm ready to face my day now. And you know, I look outside, may not be bright your end, but you're getting up anyway, you do one of the devotions and you're feeling refreshed. Where are you on the scale? Where are you? And when you wake up, are you feeling refreshed, recharged, energized? If you can put in the chat, I'll have a look in a minute. I'm not seeing chat at the moment. Okay, let's go to that. So someone's saying 6.5 hours, woke up once, fantastic. I see 6 to 7 hours. I would rate my sleep as 8, fantastic. That's great. 6 to 7 hours I'm seeing here. And when you wake up, are you feeling revived? You're less moody. You know, sometimes people say, oh, I'm not a morning person. So when I wake up, please do not call me, don't text me, don't send me anything because I'm not good. I'll get into it. I remember when I was in the corporate world and I'll get to work in the morning and I'm coming in on the floor. We had about 5 floors. And so I get onto my floor and say, oh, good morning, morning, how are you? People are like, why is she so happy in the morning? Why is she so happy? Because others are not. I'm not saying that you do anything, you know, but because you are refreshed and you're revived. So if you're saying, when I wake up, I'm a 4. I'm number 3, because working with a lot of clients I work with, the energy, they don't have the energy in the morning. I will see a bit later, why is that happening? It could be that you're facing a lot of challenges right now. A lot's going on in your life. But because you go to bed and you sleep, you can wake up being able to cope with the stresses of life. If you notice what's going on around us, the world is tightening on us. We've been closed in, for want of a better phrase. But yet, you can still wake up feeling revived. You know, in the survey recently, where it said that 74% of UK workers report bad sleep quality. We all sleep. What's the quality of your sleep? 74%. Now, there's how many of us on the chat here? I'm assuming that this doesn't apply to us. It may apply to somebody else who you know, but is it apply to you? Does it apply to you? Do you need to enhance your sleep? Boost your sleep quality? How do we go about that? In a new study with Nuffield Health, where 8,000 people were surveyed. And what they're actually saying is, and this survey was carried out, the report was in 2022, just last year. It reveals that 1 in 10 are only getting between 2 to 4 hours of sleep per night. Now, we didn't say whether it was uninterrupted, but it says 2 to 4 hours per night. Just one night of interrupted sleep, just one night, will increase the risk of brain fog, lack of concentration, anxiety, and depression. Just one night. Jesus slept. He wants us to sleep and rest. And all those people say, well, I'll catch up on my sleep when I'm dead. Or I'll leave sleep. Sleep is a waste of time. I'm missing out when I go to sleep. But sleep is so, so, so important to the body. There are so many sleep disorders around. Just close this down, okay? Okay, good. Yeah. There's so many sleep disorders around. And I'm sure you can put in chat that you know someone who suffers from insomnia. So they may go to bed, but they wake up in the middle of the night. They wake up between 1 and 2 a.m. in the morning and not able to go back to sleep. And when they do fall asleep, it's 4 or 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock when it's time to wake up. Sleep talking, sleep walking. People have nightmares. Snoring. How many times I've heard where, someone snoring so loudly you wake up the household or wake up the next person in the room with you. But it interrupts quality of our sleep. COVID not too long ago, were still happening. We report that memory, concentration, and chest pain and tightness, heart palpitation, dizziness, pins and needles to the joints were some symptoms that COVID brought to those who caught the virus. But it also says after months of getting rid of the virus and trying to cope again and rejuvenate the body, that sleep is still an issue. People not sleeping well, sleep quality has affected. Now, sometimes the question is, but were they sleeping well before they caught the virus? So their life continues and they go back into the norm of not sleeping or not seeing the importance of sleep. And yet again, hence why they're still struggling with symptoms of interrupted sleep. These are things that interrupts our sleep patterns and interrupt the quality of our sleep. I asked this next one is the light diet. How are we on this light diet? Because I know a lot of people are still eating a lot of this, or consuming, I should say, a lot of this light diet. And when I say I put it light diet because of the pores on our skin, they're maps. And they absorb the light in the room at night. Whether it's whatever devices you're looking at, TV, laptop, mobile phone, cell phones. And when they absorb that light, it signals to the brain to increase cortisol. And so when that happens, it delays sleep, the onset of sleep. You see, we have an inbuilt system called the circadian rhythm. It's a sleep and wake cycle. And sleep impacts every cell in the body. Sleep reduces chronic stress that has gone on for years ago, for a long time. And when we say chronic, it's more than 14 days, because if you have an acute thing going on in your life, it may be that up to 14 days, your sleep is not good. You're going to sleep different hours, something's happened dramatically, and it's stressful, it's put on stress to the body. And so what the reports are saying is that 1 to 14 days classified as acute. Anything over 14 days is chronic. Now, how long have this non-quality or interruptions of sleep has been happening? How long? See, when we are not sleeping well, it puts pressure on the body in terms of our mental health, our gut health. When we talk about mental health illnesses, increase the risk of Alzheimer's, dementia, brain fog I mentioned earlier. It's detrimental to us if we're not sleeping. When we sleep at night, the brain has an opportunity to detox. The body detoxes, the liver detoxes, the kidneys, the brain, the gut. All that's happening during the night is the reason why God made the sun to rule the day and the moon to rule the night. We need to sleep. Scientists still don't know the reason why we have to sleep. But we who serve a God, we know we are to sleep. Sleep was from the beginning. When God made Adam, he put him to sleep. And he extracted the ribs from Adam to form Eve. We need sleep. It's an inbuilt thing in our body. And hence why we have this thing called the circadian rhythm. It's inbuilt in us. But sometimes those factors, of course, cause an imbalance. And it's off kilter. So hormones are around the wrong way. I said earlier that I've got my personal experience of not sleeping. And one of these days, I will share my story. 4 or 5 days, I didn't wink an eye. Why? Because it was a very stressful situation. I was bright-eyed and I just could not sleep. So I understand the individuals who are hearing this, either now, present, or replay, where you have difficulty sleeping. And sometimes you're trying your best, but just not happening. The system is out of balance. It could be because of medication. It could be because, aches and pains, inflammation in the body. It could be also because of sleeping position. Now, this one is controversial because it's saying, do you sleep on your side, right side, left side? Are you sleeping on your stomach or are you sleeping on your back? That's a discussion. What position are you sleeping at night? Because it does help. There is a position that gives you better sleep or the quality of your sleep. And there are literatures out there and reports, research to say, I wonder who can guess in the chat, which is the best position to sleep. I'm going to pick that up if there's questions, and I'll come back to that. Remind me if I forget. So looking at things that also disrupts the circadian rhythm is also the hormones. Melatonin, as we know, is responsible for the sleep and wake cycle, which is the circadian rhythm I'm talking about here today. We have cortisol. And when cortisol and melatonin is in the wrong place at the wrong time, we go to work, like those people who took the survey, they're working. So whether they're in the fields, whatever job they're doing on the site, in the office, in hospital, in the schoolroom, wherever they are working, they eat some food or just feel extra sleepy. Oh, I'm feeling sleepy. But in the evenings, when they go home and to sleep, their eyes are bright out because they're not able to sleep, because these two hormones are the wrong way around. We have leptin and ghrelin. And these two hunger hormones, am I hungry or am I full? And when they're working against each other, they send signals from the gut to the brain, from the brain to the pineal glands in the gut, for the ghrelin who's saying, I am hungry. And leptin will say, okay, are you full? There's messages from the brain not connecting to the gut. Am I full? No, I could eat something else. So you have your dinner, the plate's lovely, and you think, oh, I could eat something more. Now, the reason being could be that the food is not balanced. The plate wasn't balanced with the carbohydrates and the fats and the proteins and all the good things going on. Maybe it's not balanced. And so there's more nutrients that's needed for the body. Or could be that you eat the food too fast. How quickly are you eating? So there's no connection between the brain and the gut. Or could it be just the hormones are playing up? Ladies, for ladies, I say this when I talk to my ladies with the progesterone and estrogen. Your circadian rhythm can be messed up that way because the body is changing. From the age, I'd say from 33, 35 years old, you're in the perimenopause state. And that time of a woman's life, from 35 onwards, so maybe about 45 and over, her body is going through a lot of stress. She's juggling home, she might have children, she's studying, she's working. A lot goes on for her. It's not like the post-menopausal person, woman who her children have all left the nest, they've gone now, they've got married, they've got children. She's more sometimes a grandmother. So some of the stresses that she will face is not what the person in her 35, late 30s, 40s, mid-50s will face. And so when these hormones are decreasing, like progesterone and estrogen, it causes a lot of stress to the body. So hence why we try to balance our hormones, because they impact on this circadian rhythm. insulin as well too. When we eat certain foods and insulin is there to remove the sugars from the bloodstream, we want to know that connection, feedback loop. Okay, food comes to the bloodstream, the sugar, the pancreas secretes the insulin to get the excess sugar out into the cells. When that doesn't happen, person is at risk for prediabetes and diabetes. And I always say, when someone says, I'm pre-diabetic and I'm diabetic, I always say, is it the same as if someone's saying they're pregnant? Is it a full pregnancy? They're just being pregnant or full pregnancy? But they're still pregnant, right? Okay, we digress. Testosterone also is another hormone. And testosterone doesn't always lie with a man. Women have testosterone as well too. And for men, where your testosterone and your estrogen levels are in the wrong place, that's when you have men having more tummy, which is out. It could be that they have excess weight on their body and they have like what they call man boob. That's the reason why things are out of place. So there are many reasons as why that circadian rhythm would be out of balance. Now, when we spoke about hormone earlier and spoke about melatonin, and melatonin is one of those hormones that we need to, it's more powerful than glutathione. Glutathione is the hormone, the antioxidant, in works with the liver. The melatonin is even more powerful. Melatonin does a lot for us. And even in a study found recently about melatonin was being given to people who had caught the virus, the C19. And it makes me then think, okay, well, if your immune system is not strong, you're more at a risk of developing diseases, viruses, which says that the melatonin in individuals who may have caught the virus maybe wasn't at the level that the body can use to strengthen that immune system. And so they caught the virus. And then, of course, now they're not sleeping. So it's a vicious cycle. So melatonin helps to manage the immune system, the immune functions. Blood pressure, cortisol levels is a powerful antioxidant. The next thing that we should be mindful of in terms of strengthening and balancing our circadian rhythm is the gut. We have heard on many occasions on this same platform, TTI, where presenters have presented on the gut, the microbiome that's on the gut, the microbes on the inside of the gut, that they're responsible for a vast amount of body functions. The foods we eat, how the food is broken down, how we absorb the food and assimilate into the body. But with the immune system we mentioned before, the immune system, that's 80% of the immune system is in the gut. We also talk about melatonin. Now, melatonin is so crucial. The body makes melatonin, but of course, as soon as we age from 50, I'll say the age older than maybe 50 years old, according to research, that reduction of melatonin in the body got reduced. So if we have a gut issue, we're not eating well, that have an impact on how we sleep. And serotonin, that also is a precursor for melatonin, is also found in the gut. So the gut comes into play all the time when it comes to sleep. So sleep and gut goes hand in hand. The foods we eat, that we're talking about the gut. When we eat foods that don't bring the strength in, and Edgar and I were just talking earlier about lentils and perfect foods and plant-based foods. When we're not eating plant-based food and eating processed food, things are in a packet that has many ingredients. If you pick up a packet of lentils or chickpeas or red kidney bean or pinto bean, it says pinto bean. All right, so it's in a packet, but it's just beans that are in there. But when we eat foods that's got many more than one ingredients, up to 10, we're having toxins in our body. And that's also another burden on the body, because the gut needs to digest those foods. And now what the body does, they see those foods as toxins. So I'm going to name out anything I mentioned earlier, what I used to eat, maybe 10 years ago. And used to eat a lot of it. It's chocolate. And I wasn't eating the 70 or the 80% dark chocolate. It was milk chocolate. Chocolate. Sweet tooth. But eating such food, when I was doing that, I was bringing a lot of toxins into my body. It was why I have my own testimonies where my health is concerned. So diet and sleep goes hand in hand. Very, very crucial. What we put in our mouth either strengthen the cells of our body or it depletes the takeaway. And we're already living in such a stressful world that mental stress, it's around us. How do we then strengthen our body? This is just one study I'm posting here, but PubMed is overwhelming studies to show it linked. There was close relationship between sleep, the quantity of sleep, and the foods that you eat. It repairs the body. It detoxes. See, when we eat foods that are processed, and the report says if we eat less fiber, now in terms of fiber, how much fiber are we getting a day? Are we eating foods that bring in the fiber? More saturated fats. I'm not talking about plant-based saturated fats. And sugars. Just by eating eat those foods in one day, can cause a detrimental effect on how we sleep. But God is a good God. He's given us foods that He requests for us to eat. And in this presentation, we'll be looking at some foods that God has given us. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper into them and how they impact the body and why we should have them, if we can, on a daily basis. So when we eat foods, with all these various colors and the phytonutrients and the chemicals that's coming in, because that food is chemical. We eat this way, we nourish the body. Just by one apple, you have fiber going on. You've got vitamin C, not just one nutrient going on when we eat plant-based foods. And of course, we need, when we eat, the foods we eat will either have an impact on the quality of sleep I mentioned earlier. So whether we take long to fall off to sleep, so we have insomnia, that's insomnia going on there. Delay in sleeping, we fall off to sleep immediately, like you go to bed and immediately you're out. That's someone who is sleep deprived. Somebody say, oh, fall asleep very quickly. But the natural way is for you to hit your head on the pillow and you drift off to sleep. About 20 minutes. So you can have a conversation with someone in the room with you, and you drift nicely up, as opposed to hitting the pillow and you're out like a night. And to sleep soundly and wake up in the morning to face another day. Sleep is a gift from God, and we ought to be sleeping that way. In the Ministry of Healing, the pen of inspiration, she reminds us that every cell in the body needs their own nutrients. The liver wants its own, the kidney wants its special ones, the brain, the gut, the thyroid gland, the reproductive system, immune system, they all need particular nutrients. And guess what? That comes in from the foods that we eat. So we talk about nutrition and nutrients. We want to ensure that we have our carbohydrates, energy, fat, or protein. We also have our fats and our fiber, micronutrients, or minerals. We talk about our vitamins. We have our A's and the B's, and the C's and D and the E and the K, the vitamins. And we have our minerals, and there are over 100 minerals. But there are some key minerals that are so crucial for today that we live in. And the reason why I'm honing a lot of today, because there's a lot of stress around us. And we have to eat the body in order to respond. Or else we see the negative side of life, and we go in a downward spiral. Before you know it, it's anxiety, it's depression, setting in. So we need to eat foods that will strengthen our body so we can face the days that are around us. The foods we eat, though, will have an impact on how the body responds to the sleep and wake cycle. See, because there's foods that we can eat in the morning that we shouldn't eat in the evening, and vice versa. But in the morning, if you're up, providing if you're not doing a night shift, let me just say, if you're not doing a night shift and you're actually going to work during the day, there are foods to eat in the morning which shouldn't be eaten at night. So how we eat our food as well, that would impact on how well we sleep. And if you're someone who still have there are some people who have 3 meals a day because it works for them. It's better for them to have their 3 meals a day. They may have a supper in the evening, a lighter meal in the evening, but preferably they have 2 meals a day. Then you know, okay, you're eating foods that will digest in time for when it's time for sleep. And you're not sleeping with a full stomach or food that's taking long to digest, because that will interrupt the circadian rhythm. It will throw out the melatonin, which is the sleep hormone, and cortisol, because the body is working when we should be sleeping. I liken the sleep and wake cycle to, sometimes we have, for those who have restaurants, they cook the food and we have workers and we have guests that come to the restaurant. But there's some time of the day we need to shut down to clean all the utensils thoroughly. We clean as we go. But some deep cleaning happens when the shop is closed, the restaurant is closed. Equally for sleep, the body needs to rest in order for the organs to do what they need to do in the timing that they have, because they all have time allocations when they do so. But of course, we're reminded of the foods that God has given us. And the foods I'm going to talk about today are those that are mentioned in Deuteronomy 8 and verse 8. Now, the Bible has loads of mention of the foods. There's a reason I chose the 7 plus another one, which I'll share with you later. But something spoke to me about something to share with you. So we have, the Bible talks about the land of wheat and barley, of vines and fig trees, and pomegranate, and the land of olive and honey. When you think of those foods, we spoke about lentil earlier and chickpea and all the others. But when you think about those, it reminds you of the promised land. God doesn't make mistakes. God with the Israelites, he said, okay, these are the foods, trees that will be there. These are the species that will be there for the children of Israel. He knew they were going through some horrible times. They faced some horrible times, coming out of Egypt. And we know the story and the background to the struggles that they face. And he prepared that for them. The good thing is that we have these foods at our disposal today. Not every single one of them, as it's listed here, but we have them. And I would encourage us to partake of these foods. So if I call them the Magnificent 7, for this presentation, they are the Magnificent 7. I'm going to mention one, and I've added another one to it. But when we have olives and olive oil at our disposal, ensure you're getting a very, very good quality of olive oil, because we have our antioxidants, our fatty acids, our vitamin K that helps with the blood, or blood vessels, as well as vitamin E. Vitamin K also helps the blood to clot. But there are so many benefits of having olive oil in our cooking. When I say cooking, sprinkle the olive oil on your food. I have to say, we have a very, very dear pastor and doctor, and I think you know who I'm speaking about. And I had the privilege of having some of his oil from his vineyard, from his blood. Let me just say, I don't even sprinkle that on my food because I don't want it to mix with any food. I want it unadulterated. I want to have the oil, just taking the oil in when I need it, like medicine. See, antioxidants, as well as we know, helps to get rid of free radicals from the body. Vitamin E also helps with our vision. We want to see what's going on out there around us. What are we mentally seeing around us? So for us to know the time that we're living in, olives. Remember the story of Noah in the ark for so many days. What did the dove brought back? Olive branch, olive goals, olive and the olive and olive oil. Crucial. Next up in our of the Magnificent Seven, as I call it, is wheat and barley. Now the wheat and barley of today is not the same as yesterday, especially wheat. And back then, wheat was a symbol of wealth and money, while barley was classified as for people who were poor. But we know once you have wheat, that means you've got money there. But there's a text in the Bible in John 12, verse 24 that reminds me that says, unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it abides alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. Now, if we die in Christ and we rise again, if we accept Christ as our Lord and Savior, then we bear much fruit to resemble Him and to be Christ-like. But I also go a step further, because Christ Himself, he described Himself as wheat, because He died, was buried, and He rose so that we might have life and have life abundantly. We have a God that we can serve. Next up is just talk about wheat a little bit more in terms of the carbohydrates it has, proteins, fats, zinc. It's full of nutrients. If you notice so far that these foods are filled with nutrients that the body requires. We need our carbohydrates, protein, and fats. Or zinc. Zinc also helps to boost the immune system. We need our iron. And it's best always to get these from our foods where you can. Selenium, magnesium. Magnesium is a mineral that is easily gotten rid of once we are stressed. Who is not stressed these days? Who isn't? So we have our barley next. Barley, as I said, fiber again. So there's some common threads, if you look carefully, going on with these foods. It's magnesium in barley, but it's fiber. Now we know we have fiber in the body. We're able to get rid of excess estrogen. Not just talking about ladies, just but to get rid of excess estrogen. The good fibers that the microbes in the gut I spoke about earlier, they need to feed on those microbes. Feed on those fibers. Vitamin B6 and magnesium goes hand in hand when it comes to on the go. The women or the man who's always on the go, at work, at home, juggling life, getting by. You need a diet that has all of these nutrients in it. You have the barley wheat, barley grass. Who drinks that? Next of the Magnificent Seven is grapes. And grapes, and let me just quickly add here, I rather the seeded grapes as opposed to the seedless grapes. Now, individuals say, oh, they're a problem to eat because there's so many seeds to keep the pip to get out of your mouth, but ensure it's seeded grapes. I would encourage you to do that. Now, back in post-Roman times, failure of a grape crop was evidence of God's judgment. So like every yard with a vineyard of grapes, they need to have that. Now in today's world, grapes come up with loads of compounds. Let me just mention resveratrol. Resveratrol, because of the purple color, resveratrol is key for boosting melatonin. So as I'm going through this Magnificent 7+1, I'm picking out all the nutrients in there, which all will help with boosting melatonin. Once you have melatonin boosted in the body, that should help to set the circadian rhythm. There's a research also that grape juice, its natural form, is a good source of melatonin, which is responsible for the sleep and wake cycle. This one here now is the pomegranate. It's something referred to as fruit of heaven, fruit of love, fruit of prayer, and in some literature is symbolic to abundance. So if you have pomegranate around, it's abundance. But yes, it's referred to love, peace, prayer. But pomegranate, even though it's showing up as antioxidants, polyphenols, iron, and B vitamins, it's really good for preventing prostate, breast, lung, and also colon cancers. And it also inhibits tumors from growing in the body. So we want to ensure that our pomegranates, we include them in our part of our fruits. Pomegranate also is one of those, when I mentioned earlier, what time do you eat your pomegranate? And I would suggest if you're going to have your pomegranate, have your juice in the morning, as opposed to in the evening before bed, because it will decrease melatonin. But you want it in the morning because you're up and about and you're doing your daily, daily chores, you're working then. So you want to have a pomegranate. Now, when it comes to gut health, pomegranate is crucial. Fiber, just the juice now, the fibers to eat, put the seeds in. That's problematic that they might be to keep not just getting rid of the pit. Because pomegranate actually feeds a microbe called Akkermansia. And Akkermansia is a strain in the gut that helps with cardiovascular diseases or illnesses, symptoms. So obesity, high blood pressure, high blood sugar levels, diabetes. Pomegranate goes a long way. So put pomegranate on your list. If it's something you don't readily have in your kitchen, amongst your fruits and vegetables. There's also a, next up is for dates. That's part of the 7. And I want to pick out here that there's been research done not too long ago, 2020, that our dates with pomegranate juice in a cocktail helps to keep the doctor away. That combination together helps to get rid of plaque in the arteries. So it's excellent before bed. When I say before bed, I'm not saying to eat immediately before bed, but it could be someone when they were, for some reason, just struggling with sleep and they just need something to help them to go to sleep. Not exactly before bed, but so it can digest. Some dates would help. And dates is full of fiber, so it keeps you full for longer, because what I've often been told, I go to bed, I wake up in the night because I'm hungry. Now there's a lot of things going on why the person will be waking up. Could it be that it's too early? The body's not yet trained to eat 2 meals, and last meal being at 2 p.m. and they're going to bed at 9. The body food has been digested, yes, and the nutrients there should be able to keep the person asleep throughout, but perhaps they're not on that journey just yet. So our dates go a long way. Next up, I'm not going to spend much time on because our dear sister a couple weeks ago spoke about this, is our figs. And figs, again, magnesium coming up, and it's very, very, very good using melatonin in the body. Figs often referred to as wisdom and success in abundance. So the quality and the duration we're seeing, figs is a go-to. Right, so those are the 7, but I've added another one. Here up, number 8 is pistachio. Pistachio nuts, added nuts. Pistachio in particular helps with low blood pressure. That's very good, very, very good when it comes to other nutrients: fiber, fat, protein, magnesium, B6, vitamin A, vitamin C. And pistachio is in the Bible. I'm moving on to our almond. And do you know that 8 almonds a day is good? So when we talk about eating a handful of nuts, palmful of nuts, we don't need a whole bag or half a bag, as moorish as they are. Okay, but again, almond is showing up with being protein, fats, carbohydrates, fiber, vitamin E, loaded with nutrients. Then what time are we eating these? What time are we eating our nuts? And so here's something I'll take away for you. In a study I've read, 8 almonds and 2 dates increased melatonin levels in the body. It gives you at least 150 to 200 calories in the body, which means it will keep you full up for longer. So when you go to sleep, you're not waking up thinking, I'm hungry, especially for those who are not sleeping a solid 7 hours. So I'll ask the question, which of these nuts are more, I would say, stronger when it comes to insomnia? So someone who's not sleeping well, they go to bed, they wake up in the night, or they struggle to fall asleep, so there's delayed sleep. Which of these nuts do you think? Is it the almond or the pistachio? Put that in the chat. I'm going to pick this up afterwards. Is it almond or is it pistachio? Which is it? Which is, don't look at your Google just yet, Dr. Google. Just put it in the chat and we can discuss that. So as we come into a close of this presentation, just remind us that inadequate sleep kills the body. Let me just say it brutally as that. Because inadequate sleep increases obesity, inflammation, aches and pains. It impairs the immune system. Antioxidant defenses are lowered and negatively impact our mood. Now we wake up in the morning and we're moody, and so the negative thoughts are flooding our mind, and there comes a time when we need to have our mental capacities functioning well. How we make our decisions, what we use it to make our decisions, what are we doing, what are our thoughts? We'll be forced to make decisions. Are we making the right decisions? Because inadequate sleep will alter how we make decisions, or emotional well-being, emotional health. Do I exercise today? Oh no, I'll leave it off for tomorrow. I know I need to eat this, but no, I can't be bothered. Always too much greens. Water again? How much liters of water do we need to drink a day? No, we all know that healthy living is the key. We need to be healthy. We know that. We have the information. The knowledge amongst us is strong, but how many of us are living accordingly? And this is where we start the work that I'm involved in now, in getting individuals to see this as not just another tool, but it's essential, intentionally making changes to our health. Harder days are coming when our emotional health will be really put to test. So we know that God has made us interested in our health. We know the Bible's text is on the back of our hand. God is interested in every aspect of our lives. He wants us to prosper and be in good health. We know the text has been reeled them off. How many of us are living accordingly to what He desires and His requests for us? I want to leave us here with some promises. And for the person who this resonates with, you may feel as if there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, which is impacting on your sleep. It could be the job, relationship, signs of the times. You're worried. How do you get out of the city? God will make it happen somehow. You may not know, but God knows. He has a blueprint of your life. And through Him, you can do everything. He will strengthen you. Just go to Him and leave our burdens at His feet. He's there to take it. He says when we are weary and stressed, we should lay our burdens at. Put our crucibles down. He will take care of it for us. These 7 species that I call them, the Israelites were going through struggles, hard times. So us right now. We are. And those 7, what's come to mind when I was going through the 7 is like, hang on here. Why do I worry? God has it all planned out. All I need to do is to tap into Him. For Him to direct my path. Because when it comes to melatonin, it goes through all of these 7 plus 1, the nuts I put here. And I'm sure lentils and chickpea and all the other plant-based help to boost our melatonin. And without melatonin, remember, the body makes melatonin. But as we age, as we are confronted with stresses in our lives, the level of that hormone depletes. The stresses I mentioned to you about a very stressful time of my life I experienced. I just couldn't sleep for 4 days. So melatonin is crucial. And in addition to that, for those who have heard me before, magnesium is all the way through all the things. Because God knew that we were going to live stressful lives before his coming, before he returns, just like the Israelites. Melatonin, magnesium, and we need the magnesium to relax our body. And it's one of the minerals that's easily used up in the body, magnesium. Once we're stressed, it's one of the ones that is easily used up. And hence why the reports are showing that people are so deficient in that mineral because they're stressed. So what do? We need to eat foods to help us with the stress. Because stress will impact on how we make our decisions, what we eat, when we eat it, and it goes. So you have to do the best for your health. And I'm encouraging you that if this impacts on you, and if you're in a position where you're not sleeping well, your quality of sleep can be improved, that you found some reassurance today that with Christ, you can do this and to sleep better. Because sleep is everyone's business. Sleep impacts every cell in the body. So every organ needs to rest, needs sleep. Thank you for listening. And if there's any questions, I'll pick them up now and I'll stop sharing the screen. Over to you there, Edgar or Sharon, or I'll stop sharing.
Okay, thank you so much, Edgar or Sharon. They say the two shall be one.
That's right.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Sonia. I'm just gonna share the screen just to prompt me a little bit before we take any questions. She says she's struggling to share her screen. Here we go. Right, so thank you so much, Sonia, for sharing with us Nourish Your Nights. And I was wondering when I saw, because I really love your titles, they really get me thinking. I was wondering when I saw that, Nourish Your Nights, what's she going to be talking about? Because we don't talk about eating during the night. I'm like, what we should be eating just before nighttime or during the night? What is Sonia going to say? So yeah, I loved your topic. I loved the title, sorry. And so for those of you who joined us halfway through the presentation, this is what you've been listening to, what you can do to have a healthy night's sleep, okay? A healthy night's sleep. It's not about eating during the night.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Okay.
What you can do to boost your nights so you sleep.
There you go. A peaceful night's sleep. So yeah, so just she says, right, so yeah, so the link, it linked in really nicely because the theme, for those again of you who came on later, the theme for our health conference this August the 28th to September the 3rd is Come Apart and Rest a While 2023, Revive, Rejuvenate and Reform. And our theme for this series is Remedies from Heaven, and the Bible recommends rest. As it says in our title, Come Apart and Rest a While. And you can find that from Mark chapter 6, verse 32. And we didn't mention, but it was in the poster though, but for booking information for this conference, you can contact via email ahreformers@gmail.com or ttinternational777@gmail.com. And there are 2 phone numbers on there where you can leave a message, call them or leave a message. So that's that. Coming up, this isn't until May this year, but it's always good to plan ahead. There's a 10-day detox program that Louise Reed will be putting on. And Sonia, I'm just going to ask you your thoughts because you have taught on this, presented on this detox program. So what are your thoughts about it? And could you share maybe 1 or 2 testimonies? You don't have to say who it is.
No. These programs are, I would say very essential because when we talk about body detoxing, the organs need to detox. And even though you may be on a plant-based diet, remember our foods, sometimes they're sprayed with chemicals and all that stuff, sometimes they are. And we need to help the organs, so rest them a bit. So when you say come apart and rest a while, we're resting. But in the detox program, we're resting the organs. So it's the liver and the gut. So we detoxing, getting rid of excess toxins from them by, you know, the program that Sister Louise shares with the group. And I know individuals personally who have gone onto these programs and feeling more revived, sleep better after a detox program because it detoxes the liver. And the liver also helps with our sleep. Every organ is involved with sleep. So, you know, for those who are thinking about it, probably need I call it detox or immediate tune-up. Get involved and sign up for this program. And individuals, there's not one individual who have not been on this detox program and have not got the benefit of it, because we all detox our body. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Sonya, and for that really, well, you know what you're talking about because you present on it and you've experienced it and you've shared seen others presenters share their benefit from being on the detox program.
Yeah, and so Sharon, if I also can just quickly say, sometimes what we see in terms of pictures, what comes out from the body, you know, yes, I'll say once you can feel a pulse, we have toxins.
From when you can feel a what?
A pulse. So just put your hand up, you can feel a pulse, which means you're alive.
Yeah.
All have toxins.
Everybody has toxins.
Everybody. And so that's why I encourage you to get on the detox program and to get rid of some of these stuff, because they only turn into illnesses and sometimes, and symptoms and illnesses.
Yeah, disease.
Yes.
Right. So thank you for that. So next week, as you know, we're not doing True Temperance International Family Health shows every week like we did in the first part, well, the first possibly year and a half since COVID and lockdown and all of that. We're going for a plan about 2 every month. So we've done 2 health shows this month already. However, as we have said, we try to get more involved in the community and do other things, do other events, other programs, other kind of mission calls, and we answer them. So next week, there's going to be a health emphasis day at the West Bridgeford Hub. And we know that spaces are limited at that location. We know that. Okay, but don't worry, they are on Zoom. Most Sabbaths, probably even every Sabbath, I'd say, they come on to Zoom. And so there is a Zoom link there. So you can join the TTI team. We will be there with the members of the West Bridgeford Hub. And there is a link there on Zoom. So if you want to take a screenshot, you can. It will be from 10 o'clock UK time. We will be involved in the Sabbath school, the divine service, and in the afternoon program. And you'll be seeing presenters that you've seen on TTI, part of the team, as well as Sister Louise. She'll be there doing the afternoon program. You may even see something that you've seen on here before. So that's what we're looking forward to next week. As my husband has alluded to before, you can contact TTI on Facebook and Instagram too, but the links to that you would have to get from our website, unless you can just put a name in and see what pops up. If you wish to stay in contact with us in the week, we do have our Telegram groups as well, so please take a screenshot of those URLs. And if you are women or men, or you would like to get more involved in the spiritual health side of things, there's the appropriate URLs for you to join. Okay, so that's there for you. So stopping that screen share, we're going to go to our chat because Sonya has asked us to participate in the chat by answering the questions. So let's see what we have. And we also have YouTube as well. So thank you for those of you who are joining us on YouTube. We didn't welcome you earlier, but we know you're there. We've seen there's some people. We've had a couple of comments, and I'd like to say a big welcome to Yuta Williams, who's joining us all the way over from St. Kitts and Nevis. So hi, Yuta. Thanks for joining us. And anybody else who may be on here from abroad. I say abroad, well, it depends on where you are. It will seem like abroad. But for me, St. Kitts and Nevis is abroad. Okay. So I'm going to hand over back to Edgar so he can take the chat along with Sonya and Jonathan. Oh no. Okay, Jonathan, are you still there? Okay, whilst we're waiting.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Jonathan, so there's a few things that we have in the chat, starting from 6.5 hours.
I'll
both at
start.
once.
There's one that it's in front of me. Sorry, it's not in order. It's from Paula, and she's she injured herself, and I don't know if she's not getting she's sleeping in the daytime, so she's wondering if 9:30 rule is the same for her. Does she need to go to bed at 9:30 in the night, as she's sleeping in the daytime, I suppose?
Okay, good question. Very good question. Because can you have too much sleep? So my suggestion here is, just in general here, because it's a particular direct question, is how are you feeling when you wake up? And what time are you waking up in the morning? Are you feeling rested? Because sometimes our sleep needs are an individual thing, but there's a general consensus in terms of sleeping 7 to 8 to 9 hours, but some of us don't need all of that. As an older person, keeps saying the age, they don't need that amount of sleep, but they won't sleep. My parents said they don't sleep that long either. So it depends on how you're feeling. But in order for the body to reset and to detox, I would recommend that you go to be in bed from 9:30 to drift off nicely, sleep before 10 or before 11. So you can get some sleep before 12 a.m. So I would say. And because of injured their legs. So, and of course, if, I don't know if pain, you're having some challenges with pain in your leg as well too, so you're injured, that sometimes can delay your sleep. So I'm hoping that you're looking after yourself so that doesn't interrupt your sleep, because these are things that will get in the way of us having quality sleep. Inflammation.
Thank you for that answer, Sonia. A question all the way from St. Kitts. I like to eat pomegranate as my light evening meal, but now learning that maybe should substitute for dates. So what's your recommendation?
Yes, and that's a good one, because as long as we're eating the fruits and not just the juice, because the juice will spike the sugar levels and it will interrupt the sleep, because it also reduces melatonin, which we don't want that. So if you're gonna snack on it, well, yeah, you can. And the thing is, how long have you been snacking? The body does get accustomed to our foods. So we need to switch things up if we can. So if you're having this pomegranate, you may alternate it with dates another evening. And have a spell then, so to speak. Have one this week evening, next evening you have one. So at least you know about the day stuff, that will be bringing some variety in your meals.
Thank you, Sonia. That actually was my question. It wasn't from St. Kitts.
I'm sorry.
Because I do love pomegranate, and in the evenings, sometimes I might feel a bit thirsty, and perhaps what I should do is have water, but I'll have some pomegranate because it's there and I love them. And I know that it's not heavy, it's water rich, so it's going to help me with my water, and yet there is still fiber. And yes. I didn't realize that it keeps you awake though. I never knew that. You said it reduces
juice, yes. The juice, if you have it too close to bed, it will keep you awake because it reduces the melatonin.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
That's why when we eat our foods, know what you're eating, what time of day you're eating. Just when someone take a supplement, they'll say, no, take it in the morning, or take it with food, take it without food. The same with foods as well.
Yeah, that was really useful because I've learned something. So thank you.
So could I just ask a question, a general question? What would you recommend if you are going to eat early evening, for those that are kind of trying to transition? What would you recommend that they do eat that's good, but not heavy on the stomach? Yeah, what would you recommend?
Yes, you see, what I would recommend, and I'm going to think of the person I'm thinking of, but in general here is like a light bread. And when I talk about light bread, I'm talking about something like a lentil bread. Not bread. Yeah, like the red lentils. You know, you just blend the lentils with the water, soak it a little bit, blend it together, pour that into a skillet. Not much oil, not oil. With one of them skillets, we can take it, and so it becomes really flat, like a not as flat as what's the bread I'm looking for? That name of the bread? Pizza bread. Not as flat as that. Pardon? Yeah. So it's very, I'd say it's light. That because you have protein in that, you have magnesium in that, you got all that stuff going on that will keep you. So when you eat that early, you know, maybe 5, that will keep you sleeping for longer.
Would you recommend popcorn?
Popcorn. Popcorn is okay, as long as it got no sugar in it.
That should be very light on the digestive system, isn't it?
But would you say popcorn is nutritious?
Say it again, Edgar.
Would you say popcorn is nutritious?
Nutritious.
Yes.
Yeah. It's light. It's very light in the system. Yes, it is. And one that you probably can pop yourself, not the, you know, we're not talking about the ones with the, you know, we're talking about, yeah, with all the different things.
Do it yourself, DIY.
DIY one, that's the word, yes.
And Jonathan, can you just explain the meaning of zwieback? Because people might say zwieback and they say, well, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean?
In simple term, it's double baked. So if you've got a slice of bread, for argument's sake, you can stick it in the oven and you can keep it in there on low heat for a good period of time, and it will become very biscuity. Is that a word? It will be double baked.
Crumbly. Yes.
And that would be very light on the digestive system when you eat it.
Sonia, what about having like avocado and nuts and green veg at night?
So yes, so first, correct, David. Can you repeat that one, please?
Paula is asking, Sonia, what about having like nuts, vegetable, and those things at
and
night?
Avocados.
Avocados.
Yes, you could have the avocado maybe about 5, 6. The nuts, not too much nuts, but that heavy. The fat can sometimes takes longer to digest. So we really don't want to go for the nuts. You want to eat the nuts earlier on in the day, because when it digests, the nutrients is there, being, you know, digesting the gut is breaking it down, the liver assimilating it, ready, set you up for the melatonin, the hormones to spike right about 9:30. So the avocados, it's fatty as well too. So you want to have something more lighter than that. Don't go towards much fat. Say for example, you have
I'm skinny, so I need the fat. I'm skinny.
Okay. No,
but you can have those you can have what you required in the daytime, Paula.
Yes. Yes.
Remember, your objective when you're going to bed is in order to rest and refresh in the morning. Not that you're going to do some work.
Well,
So
I had my supper at 4. That's the time I had my supper.
Okay.
So I have good time for digestion.
Okay. Yes. So you're not eating again for the night, for the evening?
No, till maybe around 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, okay. And you're feeling, you know, full, you know, any hunger cramps or anything?
No.
You have it earlier, yes. But in response to Edgar's question, person who is now starting out and not able to make that bread, then, you know, a couple of days tend to do, because days full of fiber keeps you full for longer.
And fruits are recommended as well, isn't it, Sonny?
Yes, fruits, yes.
So, Sonny, just another one. You mentioned which is better, almonds or pistachios before going to sleep, but you didn't give an answer.
Yeah. So, almond and pistachio, for those who have been diagnosed with insomnia, those people, then you're not eating the nuts immediately before bed. Because again, that machinery going on in the night, breaking down that almond and nuts could interrupt your sleep.
So when What sort of time are you talking about eating the almonds or pistachios?
In the evening, about 4 hours before bed.
Okay.
3 to 4 hours before bed. And this is the person who's just starting out now. They're just, you know, not enjoying, not someone who's quite seasoned with their body, accustomed to having 2 meals. This is someone now who's just starting out and they're waking up in the night, or there's a delay of sleep or falling back to sleep. Then they have that. And the nuts of the almond or the pistachio, the reason why pistachio is the winner, only because it has more melatonin in it than almond does. So it boosts melatonin levels.
That's very interesting, because I'm sure I can hear somebody saying, well, you know, I love pistachios and I don't just have a handful. I eat it and I eat it and I eat it, you know, because of the taste. But that's not what you're talking about, is it?
No. Because here's the thing. So you only need 2, you know, if you're only flying to another time zone. So maybe you're going up 5 hours behind or forward, whatever the situation it is. I want to reset that circadian rhythm. Even just 2 pistachio nuts can help you. So for example, on the flight, you may have some pistachio nuts to eat, because who eats, well, I should say who eats plain food these days. But if you're a person who doesn't want to partake of the food, the variety is not there for you, then you have some pistachio nuts to munch on that 8 hour, 7 hour, 6 hour journey, because that pistachio nut will help to regulate that circadian rhythm, sleep and wake cycle, because it boosts the melatonin in the body.
That's good. That's very good. Okay, I've got also there's a few people that made a comment, mentioned about how much time you sleep. So I've got somebody here. They said 6.5 hours. That's their regular time for sleeping. I've got another person that says between 6 and 7, maybe 8 hours sleep. That's their regular sleep pattern. And I've got another person that says, it doesn't say who she is. It says, I wake up wishing I went to bed earlier, but grateful for good sleep. So
yeah,
interesting.
And that's good. That's good. You know, gratitude, give thanks to God for the sleep you've had, and you just ensure that the following night, you don't make that a pattern that you're not getting enough, because it will, you know, deplete the body over time. It really has a negative impact on the body. As I said earlier, sleep is everybody's business. Sleep impacts every organ in the body. We must sleep. God ordained us to sleep. It's inbuilt in us to sleep. So if you're not getting a good night's sleep, you're actually hindering your health. Yes. and your body's ability to recover and be in good health. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. But even research say even one night of interrupted sleep is bad. So we intentionally want to see how important the sleep is. So we like this person who says they're sleeping in 6-7 hours. That's what we all should be doing. But
which is quite interesting, because if you go to hospital, you kind of they kind of encourage you to not do anything, you know, and so that the body can recover itself. So if you're not sick, your natural recovery is sleep. So if you're cutting down on that because of whatever, or you're going to bed and you've got all these things on your mind, so you don't get a good night's sleep, it's going to affect your body recovery, right?
Definitely.
I think
100%.
so. Right, I've got another one here. The question was, what is the best sleep position when you sleep? So some people have put in the chat on your back, on my back. Another person said the fetal position. There's another one, I can't see that one. Oh, something about the heart.
Yes. So sleep on the side of your heart.
Yes. So what do you think? What's your?
Yes. So here's the thing. which is what I'm practicing now, is to sleep not on your right side or your left side, definitely not on the tummy, but on your back.
Okay, all right.
An individual who has like struggle with acid reflux and heartburn, digestive issue going on there, is best if they haven't got a back problem though, right? So this is just in general response to your question. Have a back problem, it's best to sleep on your back, preferably without a pillow, so the back remains straight, and you rest your hands. Now I know it sounds as if it's a position, take a position as if you're lying in a ready to be put into the grave because you're in that position.
Yeah, no, and that might worry quite a few people. To be honest,
might worry a few people, isn't it? But just remember, sleep is a state of what? When we go to sleep, we know nothing unless we
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we sleep on our back with our hands, and that's the better position according to experience now, as well as what the literature out there is saying and scientific. Usually it was a case of no, on your side is right, sleep on your left side, sleep on your right side to help the liver, but the preferred position is the back. So I can see someone said the back, which yeah, I'll agree with that as well too. But
Okay.
try this out. Try it takes a while to get accustomed to it though, because we naturally go into fetal position, curl up and go to sleep. But on your back.
Okay. Yeah. Jonathan, did you want to say something?
Yes. Is it the norm for people to sleep in one position throughout the night?
Now, if you're doing that, for those who are doing that, that's perfect. You know, if you go to bed and you're on your right and you wake up on your side, that means you're having interrupted sleep.
You're having interrupted sleep.
Yes, you're interrupted. So if you can go to sleep in one position and you wake up in the same position, I'll give you a clap. That's really good for the body because that means you're sleeping throughout and you're not no disturbances for you. That's what we need to get to. No, yeah. So we try
That's interesting because when I sleep, I'm all over the place. Sometimes the front and the back. Sometimes I'm not even on the bed. So I don't know what to say.
Oh dear. Yeah. I would ask what if he's going to floor, but for me to try and get, but yeah.
It would be interesting to hear what other people are saying or thinking on the platform.
Yeah.
Open the floor. If anybody has got something that they would like to ask Sonya, or they've got a comment or a suggestion, you know, please unmute and just ask the question. We're here to take your questions and try and deal with them the best we can. So the floor is open. If you've got a question, just raise your hand and we'll acknowledge you. And if there's somebody on YouTube and they've got a question, we're looking on the YouTube, we can ask your question for you. Don't all talk at once. Just go ahead.
Eugene.
Hi, Eugene, how are you?
Oh, I'm blessed. How are you?
Good. Not too bad, not too bad. Where are you from?
I'm from Wolverhampton.
Oh, excellent. So would you like, what's your question? What's your
I
question?
just wanted to ask actually if whether or not at least could make a drink of the pistachio nut, like a night drink, and would use the pistachio nut for it.
So you're gonna blend it into like a smoothie or something like that, a drink?
Just a drink, yes. You know, sometimes you have, they say you have
Just a drink, yeah, yeah.
Of a drink.
But still a nighttime drink.
Nighttime drink, yes. When you yes, you can blend that because it could be that for that particular night you need a juice that's half broken down. So because by blending it, it's easy on the digestion, so it's easy to absorb. You still have the fiber in it. It's a juice thing now, no, but a blending, yes. And it could be that you want to do that for that night. It could be, but not to have it like a practice that you're making a smoothie. It's nice when you can chew your food. So chew the nut. It's a banana instead of a smoothie. you're eating a banana, because you're chewing. That chewing mechanism does a whole lot for the body. So even if you're gonna make a smoothie, I'll say chew that smoothie. Why? Because when you chew, it sends signals from the pineal gland in the brain to the stomach that there's food coming. But when is a person full? Do I need to still send the signals? So you're easy. It's more easier that the food is gonna. It's recognized that you've had that food in the stomach. That's why chewing is so beneficial to the body. So yes, the answer is yes. You can make your make a smoothie. Another time you can chew the nuts.
I was thinking of a drink actually. I was thinking as a drink rather than a smoothie.
Oh, well, so when if you're making a drink with the pistachio nuts,
Yes. Yes.
how I
would at least probably put it through the blender, then add water to it.
right, because I was wondering how you're making that. What's the recipe for that? Okay, right. So if you're gonna make a drink, again, it's how soon you're making that drink before bed, because it's a liquid already, and it will, you don't want to take that drink all in one go, because it will put pressure on the bladder. You want to go to sleep and not having to wake up to go for a comfort break. So yes, if it's pleasing you to make a drink for your liking, you can make a drink. My thing would be, I would then recommend that it's every night you're making that drink.
Okay.
But
Thank
chew
you.
the nuts. So you have the fiber that stays longer and keeps you fuller for longer. The nuts.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I've got a question. Sonya.
Go on.
It's a very simple one. Even Edgar can answer this one on YouTube. How do you get the seed out of pomegranate?
Cut the pomegranate, put it apart, which I had one here with me at the moment, and you just get a spoon and get the seeds out, and just put the spoon to your mouth with the seeds. Some people use their fingers and pick them up, but I use a spoon. Sometimes I scrape it out onto a plate, into a bowl, that I can use the spoon to easily get to the nuts.
I know I also see Edgar have a nice fancy machine that he used to juice the pomegranate as well.
Yes, I have, and I still use it. It's good. Very, very good.
Can you not
Plenty juice.
Good stuff.
Can you not cut it in half and hit it with a spoon?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
From the pot. Yes.
Or you ask Google how to do it?
Google doesn't know everything, Google,
No.
Google can give you something, but
everything
it can't
can
give you
follow.
everything.
But
but in all seriousness, for some people though, they are not everybody used to all fruits or familiar with all fruits. Some things are new to some people, isn't it?
True. Yep. Yes. Scoop out and eat it.
Have you ever put at least the pomegranate through the juice extractor and keep doing it until it gets milky? Have you ever done that?
Not one that I've done before, Eugenia. But it could be something that I'll try. Maybe you want to share a recipe with us?
No, well, actually, if you got a juicer,
Yeah.
at least you juice the pomegranate and keep putting it through until eventually you will notice that at least it's the juice from it is becoming white. And you keep doing that so you don't lose any of the goodness of it.
And does that mean you use all the inside of the pomegranate or just the seeds?
It's just the seeds.
Okay. And what's the difference in texture, taste you notice? What's the thrill?
Whereas at least when you keep repeating it, going it through the machine, you get like a milky texture.
Do you use that with anything else or you just drink it like that?
I can drink it just like that.
Okay.
But it's thicker than the juice. If you were to juice the pomegranate, put it through once, it would be just straight juice.
Does it change the taste or anything?
It's milky.
Okay.
Sort of a milky taste to it.
Thank you for that, Eugenie. Edgar, any other question?
Jonathan,
Yes, Paula.
is buying the seed, the ready-made seed, healthy? Is it healthy to buy the seed?
For
That's
me,
what I do.
for me, it's always better DIY. So, but for those who want to buy the seeds, then it's one's preference. But for me, it's always better to do things DIY. It's
But
more
too much
fresh.
trouble DIY, too much trouble, and messier.
I don't see it as a trouble to take care of my health, Paula.
To hit the seed and all these things, and I don't have time for that.
You want to be healthy. You want the best for your body, as in terms of having it fresh. So I don't see the trouble there, for me anyway.
And I'm thinking as well to at least if you were to have a nice big bowl and then you open it in two and just score it all the way around and then just use a fairly heavy, well, at least I would say a spoon, and just knock it all the way around, because as you score it, you don't open it all together. And then you just score it around and you can knock the sections through in a nice big bowl, and it's nice that way. It is messy if it's only small, but if you've got a nice enough big bowl, at least all the juice and everything goes into the bowl and you just take it out.
Edgar, you're muted if you're speaking.
I've got a question here. It says that somebody who's had back surgery and 3 years ago, and it's uncomfortable. What would you recommend? The sleep position.
Yes. Yeah, the person who got the surgery, because my preference, I'll say my preference now is to sleep back. But if you have a back surgery which is not yet healed, then that will be very uncomfortable. Even to recommend sleeping on your back will take time because we're so accustomed to sleep on our side. And just think about it. When you're standing straight with your arms by your side. Just imagine you're standing in a, so you're on your side sleeping, and you're told to stand up. You're curled on your side like this, or your right side, curled in the fetal position, as opposed to straight. When you're straight on your back, your all the organs are in alignment, your neck, your spine, all that. But that's the person who doesn't have a back problem. If you have, something wrong, you had surgery in your back, you need that time to heal before you can actually lie in that position. So to hear it on your back, people are like, what? That's upset. No, on your back, they find it really strange because we're not accustomed to sleeping. A lot of us are not. If you look at a baby, no, we're not baby, and babies are more flexible because they just stand back like this and asleep. But that's what babies do. Because it aligns the neck, the head, the neck, the spinal cord all the way down in alignment. When you're on your side, the pillow is here. That's why if you're gonna be on your side, put the pillow in between the shoulder and the neck, so in alignment as much as you can. Usually, if you notice on your side, your spinal cord towards the coccyx is bent, it's curved. When we stand up, we're straight, unless you may have a lumbar issue or scoliosis or the sort of bleed. It's where it bends the spine, it curves. But once you're standing straight. And that's why I recommend it now more than ever before to sleep. But it's getting used to it. It's not something you just do. You may go to sleep on your back and you find yourself on the side because it's comfortable. The body knows the position, but the body has memory. Not memory foam, but anyway, no, let me not say that. But yeah, the body has memory. So if you're accustomed to sleeping on your right or your left, and you're starting to make some changes, you'll find yourself wake up in the morning on your left or on your side, which is the side you don't sleep. But back is recommended. They all have their strengths.
Yeah. I've noticed that quite a few people are saying that they don't use a pillow for sleeping. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. You think it's a good thing to not have a pillow, or that it's better to have a pillow?
Yeah, it's if you can, sleep without the pillow, because it helps to, and for starting off, is don't sleep without the pillow, but you may put the pillow either under the back, the lower back, or on the feet. So right where the muscles are, the calf muscles, have the pillow there, maybe tilt up a little bit more. You know, so you go to hospitals, for those who have been admitted and you go to sleep in bed, you're always on your back. Very rarely you see people on their side because they set the bed that way. It's quite a tiny bed anyway, small space. But you're on your back, and then you up to sit up or with your back, because to keep you aligned.
You align me. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Have you got any questions, Jonathan?
I can't see any other question, and I don't know if there's anyone else would like to ask any further question. But if you do, this is the opportunity. If not, this is where we can starting to wrap up and express our heartfelt thanks to Sonya for today, as always.
Yeah, that's right. So this is if you do have a question.
See, the topic of sleep, there's as I said before, there's a public concern that we know that the general person there. So
have you made lentils
today is be intentional about yes, correct, yes. So you boil the soak it. No, actually, I don't. The red ones I don't boil it. I just soak it in water and blend it. Then add whether I'm having a savory, put some basil and that's oregano, a bit of sprinkles in that, and put it to more or less bake.
So just for everybody else on YouTube, Sonya, you're answering the question someone is asking you. For lentil bread, do you boil the lentil first, or is it blended with water and then put into the pan?
Yes, I soak my lentils, soak it, and then the other people who will boil it and then blend it in the same water and bake it. But if I'm rushing and I have about an hour or so to just soak it, blend it, and make the bread. I like simple. If it's going to be complicated, no, it throws me off. So I like simple.
Best to soak it overnight anyway.
I don't think you do have to soak lentils overnight. Lentils is one of those things that it cooks very, very quickly. If you're, if you're rushing, you're a busy mother or housewife, and you don't have time, lentils is perfect. It's perfect. It's simple. It's inexpensive. It's nutritious. Do I need to say more?
One thing about lentils. I've been studying with the teens about, we were looking at the twins, Jacob and Esau, and lentils must be good. I mean, okay, Esau was kind of hungry and, the belly can lead things, get you into trouble. But he sold his birthright for a pot of lentils. A pot of lentils. He gave up his, oh man, lentils must be good, although sin can be very deceptive.
I think you'll find also, Sharon, that story there has some deeper meaning, of which we can't really get to.
We don't have time for that
on this platform.
Not today.
Let it not be said that we are selling our birthright for a pot of lentil.
Exactly. And I think on that note, I think we are about at the end of our show. We want to thank you, Sonya, for the presentation. And have you got a slide? If somebody wants to get in contact with you, have you got a slide that you can put up so somebody can say, you know what, I really like what I heard. I want to contact her, that we can put up real quick, and just so they can contact you. That would be good.
Yeah, so I usually have a slide, but this time I thought, okay, contact me via TTI. Let me put my number in the chat.
Unless they want to wait to meet Sonya in person at Captainly.
It could well be. It could well be. It could well be. But next time, oh, she's put it in the chat. Thank you. Well, thanks again. I don't know if you've got anything closing you want to say, Jonathan.
I'll leave that to Sonya.
Have you got a closing thought, Sonya? Just before we go.
Yes, I just wanted to say for our listeners, those especially who are struggling with sleep, quality sleep. Sleep is something I work with my clients with. Because I think it's very, very, very important. It's one of the things we tackle first before. So someone coming in with weight loss, I want to see the sleep because the sleep will impact the weight loss, vice versa. Gut health, which is another area I work with, one of my specialist areas. Sleep is important. So for the individual who is struggling, be intentional with this. Get a journal or a book, a notebook or something, and you're actually going to make a schedule, sleep schedule, when to go to bed. If you're struggling with negative thoughts, make a note of those before you put your head on the pillow, before you go to bed. And eat foods that would help to boost your melatonin hormone, because with that boost, you will definitely come 9:30, 10 o'clock, not able to have a conversation with someone because what? You're getting sleepy. It's natural for that to happen. So eat the foods that will boost the hormone because the hormone is crucial for health. As you can see, the times we're living in now, we need our immune levels to be at high peak. We need our melatonin hormones to be at high peak. That will help us to sleep better. When we sleep better, we're able to make better decisions. We live a more peaceful life. We can hear from God Himself much clearer, because our thoughts will take us on through areas we don't want to. So my last word is to be intentional about your sleep, the health of your body.
Yeah, I like the idea of you saying make a schedule for sleep, because some people don't plan to go to bed early. They just kind of say, well, I'm just going to go with the flow, and then by the time they know it, it's after midnight and they're still up, still finding something to do. And I know that ladies, I'm going to say ladies, I'm sure men do it as well, but because ladies are really busy and they've got to plan this and plan that and, the children and so on. But it's good to see if you can kind of have a schedule that you work to. I tell myself I have a cut-off time, and unless there's something that I can't help without going to bed later, my cut-off time when it's come, I say good night to whoever wants to do whatever, that's their business. I say, this is my time, and I just cut off. And I think it's good to have a kind of mindset where you're saying, you know what, no matter what, this is the time to cut off and I'm going to stick to it, so that it becomes a part of your program. It's the same with eating. Some people eat too late, and it's because sometimes they're bored. Sometimes it's, you know what I mean? Some people feel that it's like babies. Babies have their hand in their mouth, or you know what I mean? And as adults, we do the same thing sometimes. We say, well, you know what? So let me eat something. Let me have a cracker crisp. Let me have a Mars bar, a Twix, or whatever. And you end up eating all kind of times. And then you have the audacity to say, why I can't stop, I can't sleep. It's obvious why you can't sleep. It's because you're just eating all the time. Or you're eating constantly. Like you what is it? Is it like a cow or whatever the graze?
You're grazing it up. Graze, yeah. Yes, yeah. And Edgar, I didn't mention a lot of the sleep hygiene in this presentation because you can quickly go on Google and see what turn the gadgets off. I made mention of some of those, but the message for today was looking at the foods that were in the Bible and how they impact on today and how we can use them for onset of sleep. How we can use those same food to boost our sleep hormone, which is melatonin, and it's so crucial. You know, and so looking for magnesium-rich foods all the time, that will definitely help us asleep. But you're quite right. Eating too late, having the snack box under the bed somewhere in the cupboard, you can just easily reach for it, a pack of crisp in the night. That's it. I have clients who always explain that to me. Oh, I've got my snack box. I've got this, got that. I can reach for it.
They call it comfort foods. It's my comfort, and yeah, it's and I also think that part of the problem as well is sometimes some people, they eat too quickly. And some people say they cut and swallow. They don't slow down, and they just the food's gone. You know what I mean? And God don't want you to eat like that. Take your time.
Because the body doesn't recognize if you're eating. The gut doesn't realize that you're eating, and the brain said, hang on, but you're not just sending that you eat. No, because there's no recognition. You're eating with the mobile phones, you're eating with the laptop there. There's no recollection or recognition that food's gone in. So you're hungry 4 hours of the night.
Jonathan, you wanted to say something? You're muted.
I can see you guys enjoying the subject, and what I want to say for everybody else who is enjoying it with you, I want to hear more. We can't stress enough to get those what you call it, your booking form in. It's not good enough to send your deposit without a booking form. So we're looking forward to meeting you guys on the 28th, right, Sharon, of August. So on this note, we just want to say again, Sonya, thank you. Is there another part to this?
I'm very passionate about this subject, though, I have to say. Very, very passionate about sleep. I'm on a journey to get people to go to bed and sleep at night. Even the most difficult person.
I'll take that as a yes. When that will be is yet to be confirmed, but I'll take it as a yes. And we just want to say thank you again, Sonya. And for those who join us on YouTube, I can see that the chat is very lively over there. Thank you, Sharon, for keep it going. And we look forward to seeing you guys when we're next on. Don't forget that next week we will be streaming. Will we be streaming on this platform, Sharon, or we'll be using the hub?
No, we use the hub.
We'll be using the hub link. So if you guys want it, we'll share that on the Telegram group. And I think Sharon shared it earlier. So on that point, we just want to say goodbye to those who are on YouTube, and thank you for joining this week. And we look forward to seeing you again. And for those who will tune in next week, we look forward to seeing you as well.
No, not next. Oh, for the hub. Yes.
Yeah, for the hub.
Before you go, how can I join the Telegram group?
We can share the link in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sure Sharon will do that for you, and you will be able to see.
Thank you, everybody, for joining in. I hope you've enjoyed the program. Thanks again, Sonya. Excellent as always, and we will see you soon. We're going to say goodbye to the YouTube listeners. Thanks for joining with us, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
We'll say goodbye for those who are on YouTube now. So take care, YouTube viewers, and we'll see you next time. But for those who are on the platform and like to perhaps talk to us for a little bit,